Today I want to talk about how sometimes on this journey it feels like you're behind, like you're doing the wrong things, like you missed some sort of opportunity, or you've messed up, or you're just not implementing the right routines in your life. And I'm here to tell you that that isn't true, that the spiritual path is not linear. And a lot of things are measured in linearity in our society, in our life. Traditional careers are like moving up one kind of rung of the ladder at a time, and the spiritual journey, exploration, growth, all of those things is not linear. It's not a linear process. There's periods of time when you might feel like, wow, I wish that I was, meditating more, journaling more, whatever the practice is that maybe you feel like you've fallen off of. It's not something to feel bad about. Because I actually think that when you sit down and reflect and go, well, I was feeling really connected, last month, and I felt like I was doing all these things, and like my whole life felt like this spiritual practice, and I'm so connected to the signs and myself and being present. And when you're not feeling like that, maybe in this moment, it's easy to compare that, oh, well, then I must have been doing it right then and I'm doing it wrong now. But I think with some space, taking a step back and having some perspective on that, it's easier to see, wait a second, that's not true. Things can't be perfect all the time. It can't feel like I am so aligned and fully connected to the divine world at every single moment. For me in my life, I've found that I've had these periods of time where I really, really, really feel like so divinely aligned and connected, and all the choices I'm making in my day-to-day are from that place, and it's like my number one priority. And then there's periods of time where I feel like I'm almost disconnected from it, as if I forgot that this was important to me. And I mentioned this a few episodes ago, where spiritual growth, this journey, just growth in general, like being a human, being a person, is about having an aspect of just choosing it over and over and over again. And that means that at some point you're going to waver off the path. You're going to feel like you end up a little bit over here or a little bit over here. And then when you realize that, hopefully you can like gently nudge yourself back and go, well, I want to make sure I'm meditating more, and I want to make sure I'm checking in with myself because I haven't been feeling like that. And that's okay. The thing I want to encourage you to remember is that you are human, that you will make mistakes. You will get off the path, the thing that you feel like you should be doing at all times. You're going to step off of it. It's simply a part of the process. And nothing is linear. There are ebbs and flows to everything in life. We say that everything is energy and frequency and vibration, and that in itself is this. You look at like a scale of the spectrum of light, it's this. It's up and down, right? It's a wave. And that means that life is also a wave. So there's no one way of just like moving through the world and everything feels great all the time, specifically on this journey, because I think we're meant to have experiences where we feel like, oh, I actually miss that practice. Meditation is something I keep coming back to because I feel like for me it's something that comes in and out of my life in certain capacity. I've been doing it consistently for like 8 years now, but there are periods of time where I'll go like a month and I don't really do it. But then there's periods of time where I will go every day and do it, And so that's just part of the journey. And the additional part of the journey is reflecting on that. I think we have periods of time of doubt, of challenge, of feeling like we're in that maybe low part of the wave, low if you want to call it that, and that's meant to just give us perspective to go, oh, I actually liked doing something this way and I forgot about that. Let me just steer the car a little bit back on the road. So if you feel like you've gotten off track in an area of your life that's really important to you, something that makes you feel fully aligned with your purpose, with the spiritual things that are important to you, this is a reminder that you are not on the wrong path by stepping off of it. In fact, that is the path. I think the path itself is meant to go to the left and to the right and up and down, and it's not meant to be straight. But sometimes we forget that, and this is your reminder that it isn't. So then the question is, what do you do when you realize that you've maybe gotten off that path, and something like meditation or journaling or reflection or prayer, whatever the thing is in your life has kind of fallen out a little bit? It's your opportunity to kind of recommit to it, to bring it back into your life. And also you may have forgotten about this thing or kind of pushed it to the side because there were other great things happening in your life. And that's okay. Not everything can be a full 100% circle all the time. Maybe this has been pushed to the side a little bit, but you've been feeling really healthy physically. Or maybe you've been progressing in a really beautiful way in your career. Or there's been some other blessings that have come into your life and you're just so grateful for them, and it's taken up a little more of your time and energy. And that's okay. That's fine. That's good. That in itself is part of the journey, part of the experience. Those things are there to remind you that there's more to life. Like, you have to live life You can't just sit and meditate every day and like try to manifest things and feel this abundant version of yourself and not actually go out and live life. So maybe you feel like you've gotten off track a little bit, and that is not a bad thing. It means that you've had other great things happening in other aspects of your life that have taken your attention away from the other thing that was important maybe a little while ago. And now's your opportunity in a really beautiful way to just go, oh, I can see that I've stepped away from that a little bit, but look at all the things that have happened because I've been away from it. Well, I think it's time to bring it back. So this can be your chance to bring it back. I don't think commitment means you have to do something 100% of the time. It just means that you have to be committed to staying committed to the thing, even when you feel like you've fallen off the horse. You just stop, you get back up, and you keep going. And that's fine. That's the way it's supposed to be. And if you're feeling like that, I'm here to tell you you're in the right place and you're doing the right things. And that is just the way it's supposed to be. Now, this is the part of the episode where I do a little bit of sharing. And this week, the question that was asked was, I would like to hear about how you have felt being alone in a new country and dealing with social anxieties that come with speaking a different language and meeting new people. Now, funny enough, to go with the topic of this episode, this is also a little bit of a sidestep outside of the realm of spirituality, but for me it feels very connected to that because I think there's always a through line of everything that we do being connected to that. And so if you don't know, for context, I am in Costa Rica. I moved to Costa Rica about 3 months ago at the beginning of the year in January. And if you want to get the full context of that, I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, which I'll link below, that you can check out if you want to see the whole story. But for this, I want to speak specifically to the idea of social anxiety and meeting new people. This was just really interesting to me because I arrived here and I didn't know anybody in this town. And so I was kind of met with this opportunity to decide who I want to be. And that hasn't happened completely from scratch in a very long time. It's a very uncommon thing to have happen, Usually as you're growing on your journey, you have a lot of similar people around you. And so they're kind of getting to witness the beauty of you changing. But I arrived here at a very pivotal point in my life after I'd been doing a lot of inner work and change and figuring out what's important to me. And I had this opportunity to go, okay, I'm going to decide who I want to show up as, how I want to communicate with people, who I want people to see me as, and I want to be that as fully as I can. And so for me, overall, it was actually really exciting because it was an opportunity just to completely start from scratch, but I was kind of in control of what that looked like because I could just fully be myself. Nobody knew who I was when I was in high school. People didn't know any of these things about me. They were just meeting me for the first time when I met somebody. It became a practice for me of how authentic can I show up? And what does that mean for me? Who am I? It was a lot of those questions. So it was actually less about the social anxiety of it. It was more for me it felt like a little bit of pressure I was putting on myself to go, okay, this is your chance to fully be Harrison. Who is that? And that's a really big question to try to answer. But I think I've learned that it's not about trying to be somebody. It's just about letting things happen in the way that they need to happen. And so there's some times where I've met people and I'm kind of feeling more quiet that day and almost a little more shy. And in the past, I would have fully categorized myself as an extrovert who wouldn't have felt that way. But I've realized over the years that sometimes I do like my quiet time and I don't feel like I have that much to say in certain situations, and that's okay. And so for me, it's been allowing it to, funny enough, be fluid. Like what we're talking about here is this up and down. Some days I am fully this aspect of myself, and some days I'm feeling a little more like that, quiet or reserved or whatever it may be, and just allowing it to show up in that way was a really amazing practice and continues to be a really amazing practice. The social anxiety part is not something that I necessarily feel most of the time. I'm not really an anxious person. I don't really worry about talking to people. But it was tough entering into a space where I didn't know anybody and I'm kind of infiltrating, friend groups and things that are already happening here. And I think I felt a little bit empathetic towards the other people about that, knowing that I was stepping into a space that already existed and that I wasn't just completely creating a friendship myself. I was kind of being a part of these groups. And so for me, it was really a lot about allowing things to just take the time and space that they needed to unfold, because I knew it was going to take time to develop friendships, to find the right people. And instead of feeling like I had to force that to happen right away, which I did at the beginning, I kind of quickly pivoted and was I'm just going to let this happen in the way it needs to. And I trust that the right people will find me. And honestly, pretty quickly after I did that, the right people did find me, and I ended up in these situations with people that I couldn't even write, the personalities and the types of people that I was looking for, because I didn't even know that they were out there. There's this quote that I thought a lot about before I left, which is, you still haven't met all of the people that will love you. And I love that because it just implies that life is always changing, that if you continue to move through life, you will continue to meet people, and it will always get better. There will always be more people. There will always be more experiences. Like, there's infinite abundance in that way. And so I kept that in the back of my head, and fortunately, it really worked out. So thank you for the question. If you have a question and you would like to send it in to me, you can email me at theintothelightpodcast@gmail.com. Would really love to hear from you. If you send something in, I will address it next week. And I want to just thank you again for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and it resonated with you, leave a comment below. Let me know how you felt about it, or share this episode with someone that you love. And I hope you remember that it's okay to have ups and downs in life. And if you feel like you've kind of gotten off track, maybe this is your reminder that you can gently move your way back, but it doesn't need to be forceful, and you don't need to feel bad about it, because you're trying your best, and that's all that matters. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I will see you in a week's time. We'll chat soon.